What's up, guys? I got a new series, as you can see. It's going to be titled Sporks in Space. We're going to be playing Kerbal Space Program, and then right now it's currently version 0.15. It just recently came out a week or two ago. I've had this game for about a month now or so, and I played it. I really enjoyed it. But with the new release, it really motivated me to go ahead and make a let's play because they've added so many new parts. Um, Especially in here, you had maybe half these, if that. A few new parts in here. Um, there's a whole new page. I mean, it's only two more items, but um, as you can see, a lot more different things. Um, One of the big reasons there's new parts is because there's a new building right here, the space plane hangar, where you can actually make your I don't have any made. This is where you can make an actual aircraft, and you build sideways instead of vertically. So that's kind of cool. I have messed around a little bit with it with the space planes. I'm not very good at it, so that's something that we can work on. But with it being sandbox style right now, what I was thinking is, oh, another thing that they introduced is you have the normal moon, but if you look, there's another moon called Minmus. It's much farther out, and it has a 6-degree tilt for its orbit. So it's much farther out. As you can see, its altitude is 46.4 million meters away, and this one is only 11.4. So it's a ways out there, and it has slightly erratic orbit, so it's a little bit trickier to get to. I have personally never made it to the moon. Like I said, I haven't really played it all that much. I have done a little bit, but right now I don't have any spacecraft actually built. I have this guy. I was playing around with it before, but with version 0.15, there's also a slight glitch or bug where for whatever reason the water, I believe it is, it's a known issue. They're probably going to get a patch out or a fix for it within the next patch, I hope. Where if you're viewing the Kerbal land and the water is in view, the frame rate drops, and at some points it becomes more like a slideshow than actual a game. It's unplayable. It becomes very, very difficult to do anything. But there is a fix. I've turned some of my settings down. I used to play this game no issues in all the previous updates. I say all the previous updates. The only ones I've ever actually played was 14.4, I believe it was. And I went into the settings, that's CFG, and I turned down the view distance of the water, where it renders the high quality texture. So that does help. So yeah, I'll go ahead and go to the launch pad. Before, when you get to launch pad, for me at least, the frame rate would drop down to 2 or 3 frames, maybe 10 if I was lucky. Right now it's still not great. I'm around 20, and before I'd get 60 plus, but I would have it limited to 60. And when I'm recording, I have it limited to 30 for YouTube. But you can see, it's definitely good. And I look straight down where there's no water in view. I hit 30. right here, 1722. So it's not too bad, not too bad. But as of right now, there's no actually set objectives in the game. It's you build your spacecraft, build whatever you want, and try to get in orbit. Try to make it to the moons, whatever you want to do. It's sandbox right now, and I'm assuming in later releases, updates, that they might add objectives, things like that. I know they're planning on doing something like that, but I'm still pretty sure it's going to be a sandbox style game at heart. But with that said, the goal for this Let's Play, what I want to do, is actually, let me get back to the tracker. My goal, and that's just, I love the effects. Certain parts of this game, it's so, you look at it like, really, it's kind of low quality, but then you look at the detail of that, and then you see the lens flare effect and everything. It's very nice, especially when you're in orbit and you can see the details of everything. Anyways, what I want to do for this Let's Play, you can see how you can't even see the other moon. So, but what I want to do is build a spacecraft that is able to achieve orbit around Kerbin. And then orbit and land on moon, or moon, whatever, and then from there leave moon and get to Minmus, orbit and then land, and then also leave Minmus and make it safely back to Kerbin. I definitely think it's possible. I am by no means an expert when it comes to flight, space flight, aeronautics, anything like that. I will be learning most of the stuff as I go. I believe it's going to be a very fun endeavor. A lot of trial and error, a lot of mishaps. So, with that said, let's go ahead and get it rolling. What I want to do right now is just try to see if I can achieve orbit. So, we're going to start off, we're going to need, there it is, definitely need the parachute. And get this, this is an advanced SAS. Anything you attach, like the canards or any kind of moving part that tries to stabilize it, this will and it allows it to be controlled automatically by the guidance system. And the reason I use that on this stage is, I always forget this. I get halfway into orbit and forget that I don't have that. So when I re-enter the atmosphere, I can decouple and use this to land. But anyways, I use this, and then I usually, this is just going to be a very simple one. I usually do something like this, and what else I forgot? Can't use those if there's no fuel for them. You need your RCS fuel for the RCS thrusters, and those are the gas thrusters that allow you to maneuver while you're in space. Makes it much easier. So this is the stage that will be re-entering Earth's or Kerbin's atmosphere, and hopefully a safe landing. So and like I said, I've played around with it, with the physics and the actual gameplay and everything a little bit. I fail a lot at this game, warning, and spoiler alert. But I enjoy it. It is very fun. So what we're going to do is just make it simple. And this is another SAS module. It is just the regular SAS module. It has a gyroscope. So it actually it itself contains the trajectory. But what you need on each stage, this is the A stage, and then whatever below it will be a stage, and they're separated by these decouplers, but each stage needs some sort of stabilizer, so whenever it breaks away, say when this stage breaks away, this one needs it because this one is no longer connected. And I don't quote me, I don't know if they transfer through decouplers. They probably don't, so it's a good idea that we throw them on there. And we need some struts just to shore everything up. And parts of this parts of the actual editing is very frustrating at times. Whatever, that works. Okay, they're connected. This is just going to be a simple test flight, so we don't need anything too big. And what I think I'm going to do here is to make sure I have enough thrust. I'm going to do a stacked tri-coupler. What it does is it allows you to build 3 and this is the symmetry settings up here, so you can just set that and it'll do 3, or you can set it all the way up to a lot 8, 6, and then 4, 3. But just very simple. Actually, nope, I got it. And go ahead and do one more. This might be a little heavy. And go ahead and use the big rockets for it. Alright, go ahead. What I'm going to do, click there, there we go. And since I have the symmetry on, it does all sides. And I just do this just to make sure. Oh, can't go through the rocket. There we go. Just make sure it is short up enough. So this simple 2-stage rocket, or 2 main stages, you have, this part that hopefully will get us into orbit, and then this stage that will let us retro burn and re-enter the atmosphere safely. So what we have is first stage, everything in here. When you get out, you'll press spacebar to initiate it, and everything in this stage will fire or activate. You know what I forgot? I forgot that. Oh, nope, already got. Okay, no I didn't. Never mind me. And I believe it got rid of my struts. Okay, so and I lost my train of thought. So yeah, the first stage, you press space, it'll fire this, and it'll go until either you run out of fuel or you throttle down, throttle up, whatever. The only thing that will make it change next stage is when you yourself press space. This will decouple, and then we have this stage. So we are going to name this Sporks version 1. And we'll go ahead and save that. I don't know any technical terms or naming or nomenclature for the rockets, or how they go about naming them, so if anybody watching this wants to let me know how I should name these, is it, how many rocket motors we have at the bottom or whatever, I have no idea. So for right now, we're just going to be using Sporks version whatever, 1, 2, 3, or 1.1, or I don't know, it's just something like that, something simple. So without further ado, we are going to go ahead and get out onto the launch pad. And here we are. See, it's a very small rocket. So we got Bill, Jebediah, and Bob Kerman. First thing first, we need to go ahead and enable the SAS to make sure we're flying straight up when we go. You do that by pressing the T key. Oh, and one thing I want to do with this is I'm going to move the decoupler up into this stage. So first stage goes, and as soon as I press space to go into the second stage, the rocket will fire at the same time. So there'll be no delay in the thrust. And if you hear the dogs in the background, I do apologize. They get a little loud around this time. Usually people walking their dogs outside. It's in the morning right now. So anyways, back to our space program. So let's see. Everything looks good. Our SAS is enabled, so we're going to go ahead and throttle up. I always, from my little bit of experience, I throttle full throttle till I clear the tower, and I throttle back just a little bit so I don't overheat. So here we go. In 3, 2, 1. Alright, throttle back just a little bit. And you see they're getting hotter. And the ground does look better than it was in the other patches, but it looks even better with the settings turned up. But at that point, like I said, it's unplayable for me at least. So hopefully when they do get that fixed, the details will be a little better. See, the water looks very plain now. Now that I turned down the minimum viewing distance for the high texture, but it is definitely worth it because this is so much better. I can go ahead and tell you that. Alright, and as far as knowing what to do to achieve orbit, I've watched a lot of YouTube videos, I must admit, and read some tutorials. This is your nav ball. It pretty much orients you. The blue is sky, brown is ground. Right now we're heading straight up, so you can see everything is aligned and we're at 0 heading. From what I can gather, once we hit around 12,000 meters, we want to start our roll. And I see mixed things from different people. Some people tilt a little bit, some people tilt a lot, and they have varying reasons why. So I just usually go about 90 degrees, right there in the middle, and I'm usually about 50% of the time able to achieve orbit. But like I said, around 12,000, so I'm going to go ahead and prepare for that. Let's see, I'm going to go ahead and disable the SAS, see if we still fly straight, and we are. No, we're wobbling a little bit, that's okay. Go ahead and tilt, pull back up, try to stay on that 90-degree heading, so we'll be on the equator. I'll turn on our RCS thruster, just to help us a little bit. Yep. And that should be good for now. I'll go ahead and turn off the RCS. It'll wobble a little bit while the SAS is trying to compensate for the moving. But everything seems to be going pretty smoothly. We still got we're burning through that fast. Okay, I'm going to try not to butcher these names, but the apoapsis is the highest point of your orbit, and as you can see, it's increasing. I mean, once it becomes an actual orbit, again, I'm sorry about that. Once it becomes an actual orbit, still, it's okay. You have a paroapsis, I believe it's called, which is the lowest point of your orbit. And to get an actual a circular orbit, of course you want them to have the same distance. So go ahead and all right. So we've already I've been oh, I still have my SAS on. I was wondering why I couldn't. Tilt, you bastard. Come on. Put it about there. There we go. Ooh, and we are... Oh, I need to tilt more. Need to tilt more. And we are overheating, so throttle down a little bit. Okay. Check the orbit. This is definitely let me see if I can fix this from this view. Sometimes it's easier to actually do everything in this view. You got to make sure you're paying attention to the nav ball and all your settings while you're doing this. Is it still going? Nope, it's not. So it's fine. Like I said, I am learning. I am completely learning. I don't and as far as with these things, that's where the actual Kerbal Space Program is located on Kerbin, and that is the direction you're heading, and there's one that looks like that with an X through it, which is the opposite way you're heading. Okay, so I still need to fix this, so wrong way, wrong way. So let's see if that am I out of fuel? I am out of fuel. That would be the reason why. Alright, so let's see if we can just at least make this into an orbit, and we'll call it a success for our first try. I really wish you could see a fuel gauge in this view. Is it increasing the time? It is not increasing. So let me see. Let me go ahead. Much lighter, much lighter. There we go. So I messed something up somewhere. This is going to be a crazy orbit. And as soon, there it is. That's periapsis. Periapsis, whatever it is. X completely shuts off engines. Alright guys, we achieved orbit. We have success with our first launch. So what I'm going to do now, let's see how far we are. I'm going to go ahead and cut the video until we are closer. What we need to do is get to the, I believe, the apoapsis and retro burn. How much fuel do we have? Still have a little bit. Retro burn to bring the orbit back in, or is it the periapsis? Do you need a retro burn? I'm not quite sure. I'll figure it out, but I will be back, and we will have figured something out. All right. Alright guys, as you can see, we are back, and I am facing away from our direction of travel. Let's go ahead. I think it's the apoapsis that you do the retro burn to decrease your orbit. And yep, yeah, the periapsis, I believe, makes the orbit bigger. So Alright, so go ahead and switch it off. And I believe I'm going to go ahead and let it run its course. We are 2.8 million meters away from home right now. So that's our milestone, that's our new benchmark to beat. But I'm going to go ahead and cut the video, and I will be back when we are closer to Kerbal. Alright, so we're closer. I'm gonna go ahead and try and moving very fast now. So how much fuel do we have? We still have a little bit. Go ahead and slow down a little bit more. Let's check out. Oh, look at that. Jebediah is always loving it. Bob's not having a great day. Bill looks indifferent. But I'm going ahead and slowing our... We have the fuel. Might as well use it. Look at that. Screenshot. But yeah, sorry about that. Just go ahead and slowing our descent a little bit. But yeah, I'll be back shortly when we are actually descending. Alright guys, as you can see, we are much closer. We are only a little less than 130,000, there we go, 130,000 meters away. I'm going to go ahead and do another retro burn just to slow us down just a little bit. I don't know if this is necessary. I'm not, like I said, I'm learning, so if you know better, let me know. But doing this just to make sure Bill, Jebediah, and Bob come home safely. So let's see. Alright, actually we are falling pretty fast, so I'm gonna go ahead and disconnect. And I believe it's around 20,000 meters you can open your parachute. They're probably going to take quite a G load. We'll go ahead and trigger it. Deploy. There it goes. Woohoo, yeah, that's a lot of G's. Jebediah is loving it. That is a lot of G's. 15 plus G's. We'll see with the report. I was hoping for a water splashdown. Hopefully we're not coming in too hot. And it looks like we might hit the side of that mountain. That ridge right there. So this could be interesting. Go ahead and speed it up a little bit. But I think there's a bug that if you actually make contact with anything when you're speeding it up, that it actually multiplies the velocity by that amount as well, not just time. That's what I've heard. I've never actually done that to know for sure or not, but I'm sure we will accidentally do that from time to time. So, oh yeah, this could be bad. I don't know how well you can see it on YouTube right now, but there is definitely a ridge right here, or a mountain that we are landing on the side of. So, Jebediah's still happy, Bob's a little squeamish, Bill's still indifferent. So, let's wish them the best of luck. Let's see. Ooh, 50 meters a second. That's not that bad. Oh! And I lied. There goes Bob, Jebediah, and Bill. That is too bad. I like Jebediah. Maybe we can get them again, because I know they're random. So our first casualties of Sporks in space. You will always be remembered. Alright, but guys, I do appreciate you watching. Okay, so only 13.1 G's. Highest altitude 2.8 million. Again, thank you for watching. There's going to be many more episodes to come. Give me a thumbs up if you liked it. Leave a comment if you feel so inclined. Subscribe if you're not already subscribe. I appreciate every one of you guys that do subscribe. Give me a like. But there's more to come. Stay tuned.